universe has been transferred to the screen many times, but now the home of the Caped Crusader is making the leap to the PlayStation. Batman and Robin, based on the fourth Batman film, is written by British development house Probe. We went behind the scenes to see how the movie became a game.
We tried to stick as closely to the script as possible, but it being a game and we want there to be some elements of surprise, we deviated wherever possible and added things in from comic books and from our imaginations.
One area where the designers were kept very busy was the creation of the game's setting, using their own world-building software to assemble thousands of parts. But creating a large area for Batman to keep crime free was not without its problems.
We wanted to make a really large Gotham City. We wanted to make it so that the player could drive around and have to drive a couple of miles, kilometers, whatever. We had to create a special engine for it that would load up little bits of Gotham at a time, because we couldn't have all of Gotham in memory at once.
In this game, you can play one of three characters, Batman, Robin, or Batgirl. Each of them has different skills and abilities, so the choice can be an important one, especially in those tough combat scenes. Creating the characters to look like their film counterparts, with actors like hunky George Clooney playing the Dark Knight himself, it was important to get the look just right.
We were given so much resource material for the characters themselves because they wanted us to be as accurate as possible. It was actually very easy to realistically depict all of the elements of the costume, right down to the little belt buckles and things like that.
Making the characters move realistically was the next challenge. This was done using a combination of techniques. Motion-captured actors were used to create the moves for conventional fighting and walking. And computer animation was used for actions that required any special superhuman skills, like floating through the air on a cloak. Unlike the plot of the film, Probe were unwilling to allow Batman and Robin the game to concentrate on action alone.
We wanted to make a game that wasn't just a shallow license. It had to be a fun game to play, but summed up all the elements of the Dark Knight himself. Hence the reason we've included all the weapons and gadgets and vehicles, and also used the detective side of the character as well.
Examining clues found in the game is done on the Bat computer, and is crucial if our heroes are to stop Mr. Freeze on his quest for destruction. Batman and Robin promises to be an adventure game that fuses many different gameplay elements to create a movie license that can only be more involving than the original film. The battle against the forces of evil requires some real bravery, and we reckon that these three Caped Crusaders are more than up to the job. As long as they don't get cold feet, that is. Fall into one of two categories. Either they're excellent, as in GoldenEye, or they're abysmal, as with Spawn. But now that Batman and Robin has arrived, the latest Caped Crusader conversion is hoping to do slightly better than its predecessors. As in the movie, you must do battle with the evil Mr. Freeze and his henchmen, who've thrown Gotham City into chaos. You must prevent them from carrying out their crimes by fighting, driving, and finding important clues. Elements that the designers believe have moved the game away from more mundane movie spin-offs.
We wanted to create a game that was purely Batman. People would look at it, hear it, play it, they would know it was Batman. We wanted to make a game that wasn't just a shallow license. It had to be a fun game to play, but summed up all the elements of the Dark Knight himself.
So, true to the original character, you must complete a lot of detective work. This involves solving problems using the Bat computer and pinpointing crimes on your map. This certainly adds variety to the action, making the digital Gotham a much more faithful adaptation.
Creating the actual look of the films is quite easy with the talented artists we have here. It's getting the feel of the movie into the game that's the difficult part. So you've got to make the gameplay reflect what actually goes on in the film, so the player can really immerse himself in the whole feel.
Unfortunately, by concentrating on these elements, the gameplay has suffered. Although well animated, the characters move and fight awkwardly, making the battle scenes feel slow and devoid of any real excitement. The driving scenes, however, are even worse. Turning simple corners in the Batmobile is almost impossible, and the road battles are simply annoying. Just getting to the crime scenes can be infuriating. A lot of good work has gone into Batman and Robin, and on the surface, its features are exactly what you might hope for. But unfortunately, these details have been overshadowed by the annoying gameplay, a fault that has spoilt an otherwise promising